Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm Gaz, and in the studio, as always, is the total THC Taylor.
Yeah, you're right, fella.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I've had a good week this week.
Yeah, it's been a hot day today.
It has been absolutely boiling the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've been waiting for summer. It's finally got here. And you know what? It's not disappointed. It's been absolutely cracking flags.
It has, but now it looks like a little bit of breeze tomorrow. And,
good. I'm glad.
Maybe a little bit of rain.
Oh, good. I'm happy for it.
That means a little bit of flooding as well.
Well, does it really?
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it's been a bit dry, so it might just take it. Do you know what I mean? Take it like a fucking trooper.
Yeah, but no.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I reckon there's going to be some flooding.
To be honest, it's been the Glastonbury Festival this week, so you know it's been absolutely glorious weather for this last couple of days, and it goes. Even though there's no bands on the Wednesday, the gates open, so people turn up. Generally, do you know what I mean? They want to get there. They want to get camped, set up, and just enjoy being at Worthy Farm. And you know, especially when the weather's nice. Yeah. So you know, it's been pretty good for him. So I hope it keeps like that. To be honest. Yeah. I'm wounded. I'm not there myself because it's like I do enjoy Glastonbury. I've been watching a bit of it on the coverage. Oh, yeah. And it's been pretty interesting. I was kind of a bit. It made me laugh a bit. Two Door Cinema Club's performance. I think I was telling you about it, weren't I? It was like I remember seeing him when you were...
That was on before.
That noise,
all I could hear when you were trying to tell me
that was someone else. That was someone else. Right. Well, I basically show you that band, didn't I, where it was like when they first came out, Two Door Cinema Club, they were kind of a young band. Where it was like, you know, he still quite had a baby face. Yeah. But then, like, now he was performing on Glastonbury. And he's just like
his manager.
He had a polo neck and looking like he was in Depeche Mode or something. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. I think he's changed his style quite radically. Other than that, this week's been pretty funny, man. Well, obviously, I met Peter Dench this week, for photojournalist. That was pretty interesting. Nice bloke. I've got my Comic Con ticket. I think Mikey's coming along to that as well. So I want you to come as well, so we can do some like chasing people around and like
chasing people around.
Giving out our postcard and letting people know about the podcast. I think obviously we're being a conspiracy theory sort of thing, sci-fi and NASA and space. Thought, you know, might be good. Might record some bits as well for the Patreon and for maybe segments in the show. We'll see what happens, but we're definitely there anyway. And talking about like kind of Comic Con stuff, I got on the bus the other day, right? And there was a guy who got on with two lightsabers, full size lightsabers. One was the like kind of one with the side prongs, as well. Like so it was kind of like more of an Excalibur style sword, right? And he looked the most uncomfortable guy I've ever seen.
Was he dressed up or
he was just in regular nerd outfit, just wearing his normal clothes, and he just got on the bus. And I thought he could have put a bin bag around him or something. Do you know what I mean? But he got on with just a lightsaber in each hand.
Come on, man, if you think
he looked really like I'm gonna get mugged for these lightsabers. And if anyone came over and said, give me those lightsabers, I'm pretty sure he would have just handed them over. And I just kind of looked over him and I was like...
You should have said, give us them lightsabers.
Well, no, he got on the bus and the bus was quite busy. And then he sat down next to this guy and the guy just looked at him, he went, are they lightsabers? And he went...
You're a Jedi Knight?
He went, yeah.
He says, Lord.
And then I think he tried to go on and explain why he had them on the bus, but...
Go on then,
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear all of it. It was just literally like bits, so I couldn't possibly. It was just funny. I just thought it was like you see it all, don't you, when you're in public transport?
Well, you do.
Got a pretty interesting topic this week.
Have we?
I think so, maybe.
I do.
Yeah. I think we've got a pretty interesting topic.
Yeah.
We're talking about the cannabis conspiracy, the evil weed.
Oh, the evil weed.
Yeah. So we're gonna
the history of it.
The history of it. Why it was actually not legalized, made illegal. Well, in the first place, I suppose.
Well, we'll be explaining that later on. You've got quite a bit on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have. I think. We both have, to be honest. I think we've gone pretty deep on this topic. So
mainly the history on
the history about and why it was kind of just basically made illegal. Because it wasn't for a long period of time.
Yeah, it's only been a short period of time that it's been illegal, and it's like, if you think about it, with the amount of timeline that it's been, it's pretty good going, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So we'll get into that in a minute anyway. So 1 second.
Suck that pipe, boy. Suck that pipe.
There we go. Yeah. Well, I think on that note, it's time to do the news.
Oh, I thought you meant another bong.
Not just yet. Just yet. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I've got a story here. I know we were talking about cryptids last week.
Yeah.
Cryptozoology, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
The whole episode last week was Bigfoot. If you didn't check it out, go and re-listen, or just listen to it.
Yeah.
It's available on iTunes and all the other platforms.
It is.
Go and check that out. It's pretty good. Had a pretty good response to it as well.
We have actually, haven't we? We had a real good response.
Had some pretty interesting comments as well on Twitter and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Nice one for that.
Keep along with that. We like your comments and that, and bring as much as possible.
This story relates to the remains of a real-life Loch Ness monster have been uncovered in Antarctica. So the 70 million year old remains of a giant animal, dubbed the real-life Loch Ness monster, has been found, and.
They're exhuming it.
Yeah, basically, it's a huge fossil. It's reportedly to be 15 tons. The creature has been like a huge snake-like head and neck with a body that represents sort of a manatee.
Has it been fast frozen?
Yeah. Well,
so
it's
still
fossilised.
Got his skin
I'm not 100% sure, but they're saying it's like a fossil. So it could very well be, like you say, it's the Captain America. Of Loch Ness monsters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's hoping we can learn a lot.
It's 40 foot long and 40 feet long.
Jesus.
And the animal would have roamed the earth around the same time as dinosaurs, specifically during the Cretaceous period, tens of millions of years ago. Impressions of what the beast would have looked like based on its bone structure shows a resemblance to what the mythical Loch Ness monster might look like. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? Goes to show you, we were talking about like animals and how they, there's a big chance that these animals do exist and they have survived. And just because we've not seen them doesn't mean that they don't.
Well, this is it. I mean, look at the amount of ocean that we haven't looked at. I mean, the last estimation I heard was 10% we've looked at, and I don't believe that. To be honest.
Not at all.
And we're hearing sounds. We're seeing like little bits every time we go down and go even deeper into different places. We're finding new and special fish, and I saw one
special
the other day
fish.
With a giant shark. I mean, it was fucking massive, and they filmed it. I think it was a bottom feeder though.
Yeah,
they've got the sharks with no eyes bottom feeding, but this was absolutely fucking massive. So if we've caught something like that on film, we're bound to be a lot more.
Yeah, but it's the fact that they've actually found this. Do you know what I mean? They've found. I mean, it's not alive. Yeah, it's probably not survived. It's not survived, but it just proves that these. It's like I said last week. It's like, these animals have existed on this planet at one point in history, and to think that one of them's not knocking around is kind of naive. I mean, you've got to think of the possibilities.
No, you are being naive there, because it can't be one. There would have to be at least.
Oh yeah, there'd have to be a couple, but they're elusive. One or two on a planet is still quite, slim numbers. And like I say, in terms of we know about animals that have dwindled because there used to be lots of them.
Look how many animals that have been coming back that we thought we lost.
We could, they can come back.
Yeah.
So, but a yeti, if we discovered a yeti, do you think they'd try and capture them and then try and breed them in captivity so they could bring the population back?
I think as a human race, I think the first thing that we shouldn't do, but we would do, is take it and do experiments on the first one.
Well, I've got a story here.
Probably just kill it straight off and go, right, let's see how many lungs it's got.
Well, that's it, wouldn't you? You'd expect that they'd want to know how its anatomy worked. Yeah. But I've got a story here talking about experiments. Basically, scientists are now able to clone pets. Yeah, so they cloned pet dogs.
Yeah.
Just using urine.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? A British man is basically preparing to copy his third dog.
Oh my!
So Richard has recently become the UK's representative for the South Korean company Soam Biotech, which specialise in cloning pets. He has chosen the first to create a puppy from DNA of his girlfriend's boxer dog Dylan, and now he's repeating the process using genetic material found from his dog that had deceased, 19 years old Max.
What? Hold on. So they've kept some of its piss for 19 years?
No. He had the dog for 19 years.
Oh, so this is the outcome from the 19 years of the experience.
So they've managed to get some genetic material, but he's obviously used the company once before, and he's able to kind of go, well, it worked the first time, we got a perfect sort of a replica of the dog. Let's go for it again.
Have to check its
But we've talked about this before, because they were talking about police dogs being cloned, off the train one, and it's got the best sort of genetics to be a police dog, and then they go, right, we'll clone it. But then if you took one of those dogs out and treated it differently in a different environment, you've got to be exactly the same training with every single dog to make sure it's going to have that same
experience as the other dog.
Exactly,
or nearer to it as possible. And the only way you could have that is if they're there at the same time as...
I don't agree with cloning, especially animals, because, we wouldn't agree. If the people were doing experiments, which they could be...
Do you agree to it on health benefits?
Wait, for if you were... Depends, if you were growing organs in a lab, then fair enough, because you can kind of match that. Because it's not like you're cloning an organ, you're growing it,
What, but so the ear on the back of the mouth?
Well, technically, right, say if I needed a transplant, you could go, right, take some of my DNA, right, you model it on however they grow a lung or a fucking heart or whatever they need to grow for me.
Process,
They take my DNA and then using, I'm sure, stem cells or something like that, they're able to do a process that is able to grow an organ that is matched to me based on the fact that it's used my DNA as a template. Right? This is just what I assume, right? I don't know where they're up to with it. I don't know, right? But from what I gather, then that, because it's not like it's cloning it from... It's cloning a whole me, is it? It's cloning something that's benefiting me, that is going to match my. It's not going to reject it. So it's beneficial. Whereas if somebody without my permission cloned me as a person, and then I saw another person that's me, which is having different experiences to what I'm having now, so it's totally different person itself. I wouldn't know how I'd feel about that, to be honest. I'd probably try and take him out, but then I'd start thinking...
What, for dinner and...
No, am I the clone?
Well,
you'd start thinking...
If you consider that, we're all the clones.
Am I the clone? Is he the real one?
We are... Well, supposedly, genetically, we're supposed to have come from 8 men, 1 woman.
I am an 8
And it's right, okay, if that's the fact, then... and it's not guaranteed.
No.
That... how the fuck we're the ones now who are doing the process of what Mother Nature does naturally. And as I've said before, when we fuck about with nature likes to fucking turn back.
Yeah, nature kicks back, and she's got a fucking nasty bite.
But she'll do it. Yeah. So you don't fuck with it.
She's still got that fucking big spot. Well, to pop at Yellowstone.
Yeah,
which will probably go at one point or another. Well, so. And then you know what'll happen then, don't you?
Yeah.
It'll just.
Yeah. 10 years of no light.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely. Bye. Yeah, so have you got anything you want to talk about?
With all these Deliveroos and bloody, pizzas that deliver at McDonald's and all that.
I know, I was very impressed with us tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ordered our takeaway. Normally Jay orders the takeaway. He's not here tonight. We got our manservant who sleeps on the job.
Yeah.
But we hire him anyway.
Yeah.
But he's
cheap, isn't it?
He is cheap, he's not here tonight, so we had to order our own food like fucking peasants.
Yeah.
But we worked it out.
But we did it in the end, didn't we?
We did it. I was
I'm going to give myself a chuffy badge. In fact, I might write to Blue Peter and try and get you a Blue Peter.
It was funny actually, because when it said after we ordered our Domino's, it said, where do you what's the occasion? Why are you ordering Domino's tonight? Is it? And then it gives us options like multiple choice, and it said like having fun with friends.
Yeah.
Fancy the night in.
I fancied pizza all day.
Whatever. Yeah, all these options, and then it said other. So we selected other, and it said, "Well, what's the reason?" So we said, "We're doing the podcast, and then put link."
Yeah, we have to link up.
And then it said, fueled by Domino's on a weekly basis. So maybe we'll get a sponsorship out of him. You never know.
We have been doing it for a year
at the moment. We have, haven't we? But other pizza places are available. We generally do eat have a Domino's.
Yeah.
So. It's not that I prefer Pizza Hut. Well, we're never going to get a sponsorship now, are we? Fuck's sake. Nah, I don't know. I love
just
Domino's.
Like pizza, if it's
I
nice,
like pizza. That's what they say, don't they? They say even the worst pizza's still good pizza.
Yeah. So, and it's not even original pizza if you think about it. It's not how it's made in the motherland, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's not how it's made in Italy, come on.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So anyway...
Yeah, so with all these deliveries and that, a Manchester-based cafe has decided to, if you want a delivery of a full English breakfast, they will do it for you.
That's what I want.
Mama B's cafe.
Well, there's a lot of cafes that do that. I mean, like obviously I've worked at places where they'll do you a delivery. Do you know what I mean?
In the morning?
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard it.
But I think that it's whether they have a call for it, but like...
Yeah. But these are going to be doing it on the road.
No, well, the thing is, I like that. I mean, I've got a nice cafe up the road.
Yeah.
And it's nice on a Sunday, or a Saturday morning when I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want a bacon and sausage or, a nice coffee.
Yeah.
I can have a stroll up the road and have a chat. I love bacon and sausage, please, brown sauce. Sit in the cafe for a minute, read the paper, and then I'm off. Do you know what I mean? Where it's nice, it sorts your head out a bit.
Yeah,
especially if you've had a heavy weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't. To have it delivered, are you just getting lazy now? You'll be telling me that they'll be delivering it by drone.
And have you heard a lot of complaints lately about the stars on certain? I'm not saying the companies, but the certain internet companies who you can order food off, who actually haven't checked out who they're actually sending the order to deliver the food. And there's been more complaints that there's been lower standards.
Right, I get you. Yeah, well, we said this actually because, when we've ordered McDonald's, right, from on not Deliveroo, but like
one of the places,
Uber Eats, right. Now, the fries are never full. Yeah, no. It's like they're always a third of the way full.
I think taxi drivers having a bit.
It's rather the taxi driver, Uber delivery man is having a handful of fries, or McDonald's are thinking, well, there's a third party there. No one's going to come back to McDonald's and complain that they've not got enough fries.
This is another reason. Yes.
So they're probably not. They've been told don't fill them up as much. Because
fuck up the orders as many times as you want, because they're not going to come back. They're going to go, it's a couple of quid. You know what I mean? I'll leave it. But to that business, they could be making like $2 billion a year off it.
Yeah,
Banks and that kind
definitely.
of do that, or them kind of scams. You know what I mean? So why not on the food industry?
Well,
They're just
they probably do.
in.
They probably do stuff
Yeah.
like that. So have you heard about
not all of them, but you know, some of them do.
Have you heard about Russia? They've just revealed an owl stealth drone.
Mint.
Yeah, designed to trick enemy systems. It's a robotic owl that's designed to basically penetrate enemy early warning systems, and it's supposed to be undetected. And it's being used by the Russian military. Now, the Russian military this week have been in a bit of shit, man, because they're just basically like, I don't know, I found this other story, and they've basically been developing weapons out in the sticks, right? And they've got a base, so I'm just trying to get the story up now.
Right, well, I think it was about 2 years ago, I remember watching a video on guys driving around down in Russia, and there was literally, it looked like a nuclear explosion had gone off, and apparently it was from a base near there, a hidden base that like no one's allowed to go near. It's like an Area 51 base.
Well, this is a Russian base that so basically an Ice Age weapons factory found close to a new high-tech Russian military base has been discovered. So the weapons factory is near impact camp, dating back to some 10,000 years, containing the bodies of a woolly mammoth.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. So
fucking hell. So Siberia.
Yeah, this is in Siberia.
Yeah.
But also, there's another story coming up which is linked to Siberia as well. But there's been a couple of these sort of things where things are being discovered that have happened because of rather climate change.
Yeah.
Or you know, like receding seas that only happen every kind of certain kind of once every blue moon.
Yeah.
They're basically saying that that they found obviously tusks, fragments of this mammoth.
Oh shit.
Ivory. And all sorts of other little bits and pieces.
Oh
so, shit. Yeah. So there you go. Interesting
another animal been found.
This is it. You see, they found what's it?
A fucking dinosaur.
They're finding all sorts, aren't they?
But I don't think they're that old, to be honest. I mean, think about it this way, right? Majority of when we say like, oh, we've spotted oil and shit, right? Well, it's the dead particles of either oil or of animals in the past, or like trees and shit. Right, so this has been
I didn't even get into
the
fact that there was a weapons factory there. Do you know what I mean? But like,
I would have thought it was.
This is well, there is, but like the thing is, like I can't be asked going into the story now.
Yeah,
we've sat that bit off, moved on.
Yeah,
but the thing is, this is the Canabis episode, so
well, yeah,
I'm bound to fall in a rabbit hole at some point or another in the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah. So,
yeah, it's well, did you see May?
Theresa May.
Theresa May got G20.
Is she still the Prime Minister at the moment?
Yeah, she is till I think it's the 27th of next month. It's not. It's the end of next month that we find out who the next Prime Minister is.
And who do you think it is? Because I know Hunt's been on the campaign trail.
Yeah, he has.
He's been posing, drinking milkshakes in little milkshake bars. He's been meeting the people. He's been out there showing everybody how much of a good Prime Minister he could be. And Boris has just been like, yeah, I'm having like...
Hey, they've had a pop at him and he's fought back and he's doing a brilliant job, I think.
I think Boris would make a pretty good Prime Minister. And to be honest, I'd like to see... I mean... Hunt's taking this in like a if he was I've not really seen anything to say that he's a cunt, right?
Well,
or anything
ask the NHS doctors, and he keeps asking Boris to have
well, I don't really know much about the guy, right? But he's playing it like he's actually in an election process, like like he was actually on the campaign trail, right? Well, no. The people haven't got a say in who's... So him going out and meeting the people isn't really going to get him anywhere.
He's meeting the Conservatives. who are all around. They're not just down in London, they're all around.
Obviously, but he's meeting these people, right? But they're going out into the public to kind of...
Yeah,
like that's how they're portraying it. He's like going out, like I say. I keep seeing pictures of him like with hard hats on, meeting people
because
and shit
the
like
public
that. You know what I mean?
will go out and talk to the people who are going to be the ones who are allowed to vote. Well, so because they want to know what people around them think about it. So
well, if you someone, fair enough.
You know what I mean? So it works down the line, like drop a little seed. And then it'll work down the line, and if you've got enough seeds, you've got a couple of plants.
Maybe he's thinking, well, Boris is a bit more well-known, do you know what I mean?
Well, so, he is for being a buffoon, mostly.
Well, yeah, but the fact is, people know him to vote for him, do you know what I mean? Like, whereas Hunt, he's like the underdog, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's a bit wooden, but
I mean,
he just reminds me of another David Cameron. He just reminds me of a fucking cookie
he ain't
cutter.
that slimy, but he's nearly there.
David Cameron type.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I want my Prime Minister to have a bit of backbone.
Boris.
And like, obviously, Cameron a bit pussied out and was like, oh, yeah, if you're going to leave the EU, I'm not playing anymore, and left.
And yet Boris went to university with David Cameron, and he was part of the Bollington Club as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you don't know what their agendas are. We've covered this in, like, the Skull and Bones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they've got an agenda... and it's funny when you get people who are on the same in the same secret society, but yet are on opposing political platforms, but they're both running against each other, and it gets to the point where it doesn't matter who's in, because obviously they're both still secretly shaking hands underneath the fucking table, because they're both in society members. So
there's one dying fact. That in life you'll never die a virgin because the world fucks you.
Yeah. Oh, talking about Illuminati though.
Yeah.
Angela Merkel's been seen making the Illuminati sign at the G20 summit.
Yes. Well, May was stood there talking.
Oh yeah. Did you finish with May?
Talking to Putin, and she basically put him to rights about the murder that he did or supposedly done in England.
With the Novichok shit.
And apparently she was proper stone faced with him, and he turned round and give like a cheeky little smile to see if you know we're all right, aren't we? And I felt like she did kind of handle that very well. Yeah, I wish she did that with Europe.
But the thing is, that's her level. Do you know what I mean? It seemed that for those, I'll still say, right, if we were on a normal sort of situation where our Prime Minister was just dealing with normal everyday problems that a Prime Minister would deal with.
That's what
she'd probably have done a really good job. She would have been a very good Prime Minister for this country, right? But she's not. She's been in a very high pressure situation.
And she knew she was heading for that.
It seemed like she had a plan, and she was trying to push that plan. And if she went in with the same plan 4 or 5 times, and every time they knocked it back, so we weren't getting anywhere. So you understand why she stepped down. Do you know what I mean?
She gave in from the start because a part of the process was that the leaving and the process of there was other bits and bobs were going to be all together, but Europe asked if we could separate it and do this first and then do the others afterwards, and she said and then they made the plan. She had the red lines, but they made the plan, and she agreed to it without even checking that we should that it should have gone through Parliament first before she even turned around and said, we agree to it. Then she offered that they wanted $100 billion pounds offers. We said no. We settled at 39, but now they expect us to still do what they want, because in the contract it will have an entrapment. And that's the major problem. It's all, we might do this, we could do that, we will do this,
but that's what we're hoping will change now. Do you know what I mean? Well, we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Going to happen.
Well,
nothing can happen because Europe.
No, this is it. Like, listen, right, even in the debates, they turned around and said, if it gets to the 31st of October and we still haven't left, but they're saying, can we have a couple more days, we'll go there and do the couple more days. And I was thinking, oh yeah, you just sound like the same, more of the same.
European Parliament starts on November the 1st.
I know, yeah, so basically
he can't do it, yeah. So it will have to be a no deal, and we'll have to walk away.
Of course we will. We could walk away now, to be honest. Like I say, Angela Merkel was spotted doing the diamond shape with her fingers at the G20 summit.
It's the last one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is the last one.
It's the last one, man.
Which is currently being held in Osaka,
She's
Japan.
shaking as well. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I saw the video of her shaking, and she wasn't just shaking; she was absolutely convulsing.
Yeah.
And what was it she said? She said she's a bit dehydrated or something.
Well, that's the second time in a couple of weeks.
High pressure, man. Happened to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, of course.
And they're friends.
Oh, I don't know that Hillary Clinton though. She just had some really bad bile or some really kind of bad mucus when she was spitting it up, and she was shaking and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's had a few fucking funny turns.
Do you think it is all Masonic and Illuminati at the G20? Because obviously they are all world leaders. They are all meet up.
It's not what it seems. Let me put it that way. To me, it's not what it seems. It's just. They're trying to cover it up. Why would you want to cover it up?
We're covering a lot. We're living up to the reputation tonight. We are covering a lot of topics.
We are.
We've gone from the Loch Ness Monster to the Illuminati to the Brexit.
See, we're great.
I know. Fucking hell. Value for money. Yeah. What can I say?
Definitely.
What was it going to... We've got way more stories to go through anyway, so...
Well, I've got France, Paris have banned up to 60% of cars from the roads.
No cars for you.
Heat wave.
Well, in France at the moment...
45 in it.
It is the hottest it's ever been in France.
It's 31 here.
Baguettes are fucking toast.
Yeah, fucking hell, boil an egg on a fucking
seriously,
carb on it,
if don't go up the Eiffel Tower today, because you'll just fucking stick to it.
Although you might get a little bit of a breeze, better up there than down.
I don't know, mate, it'd be so hot, that metal.
Yeah, but you just don't touch the metal.
To be honest, I don't think they've got I seen it on the news. They had a big fountain in some square in the middle of France.
Yeah, they've allowed it. Have you seen them steam thing?
They've just literally allowed everybody to pile in the water because it's just ridiculously hot. So you take precautions, use your sun cream, and obviously
don't do it in Italy because you can get a fine for doing it in Italy.
For what?
For going in the fountain. There's a big fountain there.
Oh right, okay.
And you get fined for going into the
Fair enough, yeah. So if you're a tourist,
so don't go in the fountain. A little tourist information.
Unless you're in France.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah. But I like them little step things where you just walk down the street and steam comes up.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
some Marilyn Monroe style fucking thing. I always remember and this sounds really common, but you might, if anyone remembers this as well.
Yeah.
You'd go to Rill, and I think it was Rill, and they had a public swimming pool sort of thing.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, on the sea. Oh, it was on the beach.
Yeah.
Right, and it was stiggy as anything, but you'd want to go in it. Yeah, as a kid, you'd be like, I want to go in the water. Yeah, right. Yeah. And you'd occasionally go in it. It was just like seawater, really.
Yeah.
But
although you might see a turd.
But there is literally a sun centre 2 minutes up the road, and it was we'll
better
go.
Than paying 15 quid to go in there.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll probably go in the stiggy pool.
Yeah. Just get in there, kids. We'll just
it's all
sit
good.
here and talk.
It's all good, isn't it? Yeah. Childhood memories.
Yeah.
Fucking caravanning holidays.
Yeah, man.
Well, this is it. I hope they bring a bit more of that back, to be honest. Obviously,
I think they will after the Brexit thing.
Well, it's going to be that and cheap duty free that we'll get back.
Yeah.
And what's it?
Well, if Boris gets in, he's going to try and knock taxes down as well, and try and get the people to actually have money, because the way the economies should be working is we go out, we go and spend, they get more tax. They use it on us as well as the tax that we pay.
Yeah.
Except for we're not getting enough money to go out, and it's actually working out to come out that we're saving more. We're not actually going out, and the over 50s are not going out and buying any clothes no more. They're keeping the old clothes that they've had and keeping them for a lot longer, because they can't justify going out and spending 15, 20 quid on a jersey or a skirt or something. Because things are getting tighter and tighter.
Right. just found this story about a Bible prophecy.
Oh yeah.
About the end of the world. Another one. Yeah.
You
Jerusalem Third Temple.
Yeah.
Fulfills Bible prophecy of the end times. So fears of the apocalypse were stoked by calls for construction of the third Jewish holy temple in Jerusalem, which, according to some, will herald the immediate and end of the world.
Why?
I know, yeah, because they're saying they're building a new temple. So biblical conspiracy theorists believe that the construction of a third holy temple in Jerusalem will predict the immediate return of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Jewish. What's that? Escapologist. An escapologist, an escape artist, isn't it? No, it's. I can't even say that. Concerning the end times claim that the Holy Temple will rise from the ground in the third time when the apocalypse nears. Talk of the third temple being built emerged this week in response to a letter penned by the powerful Jerusalem Assembly of rabbis known as the the Sanhedrin.
Yeah.
So if this temple goes up, they're saying
that's it. Jesus is going to turn around and go, right, you're all dead.
Well, maybe that was the plan. They're like, yeah, well, we've read the book, we know the script. Like, we think that if we build this temple, shit's going to go off.
Yeah,
and that'll show them.
Yeah, it's showing we know how to build another temple.
Fuck knows, I don't know. I don't think so, honestly, to be honest.
Well, hold on. If that's the case, there must be more than two temples in Jerusalem.
No, but the holy temples.
Holy temple.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just turn around and go, right, you're a holy temple.
Well, no, it depends. There might be like a sort of like.
There has to be something involved in
a sort of ceremony.
Yeah,
or something.
Religious kind
definitely.
of thing. So then.
But these things, mate, I've got 2 stories coming up. Have you got much to talk about?
I'm on NASA.
Okay, well, I've got a fair few NASA stories, but talking about, like, things rising out the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey-oh.
They've found... I found this one story first, right, and then I'm, like, kind of scouting the internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And I came across another story, and I thought, it's just the same story, it's been reported different.
Right.
Yeah. But then I read it, and I was thinking, no, well, firstly, it's totally 2 different places.
Yeah.
But the first story is a Russian Atlantis has been found. Ancient civilization raises from the deep in Siberia. Right, so a race is on to save an astonishing treasure from Russia's Atlantis, which has risen from the depths of a vast man-made lake, I'm assuming, because it says made lake, which is a typo from the express.com.uk.
Sort it out.
So this is kind of like risen from the lake, right?
Yeah.
So a few weeks of good weather has meant that the water levels have kind of dropped.
Gone down.
And this civilization has been discovered from the Bronze Age and from the times of Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Especially rich in finds of basically like, ancient pottery and stuff like that. But it's basically believed to be like at least 2,000 years ago when it was like last doing anything.
When we had that piece of land.
So by early July, the water will rise again and cover up all the discoveries, including graves, and it'll rise about 50 feet. So then the water will freeze in winter, and it won't return briefly until next summer. But then obviously they've got to start doing the excavation again, and it's like they've obviously got a very small window. But
no, they could do it with a diving team. They could get a diving team down there to.
It's a hassle though, isn't it? I mean, it's easier when you've got like a dried out
doing a year's worth of work in like 2 days.
Well, they're calling it Sleeping Beauty, obviously, because it kind of goes to sleep and they can't do anything with it. And obviously it sinks for under the water for the year until like they could kind of get a brief spell of good weather.
Now, if that was for 10 years, do you reckon they put a diving team down there?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Well, it's 240 square miles, right? The area, and obviously, so obviously it's a pretty big civilization, and they found at least 32 graves in there as well. But then, obviously, like I said, I found this other story, which is a very similar thing. And it's another civilization that's been kind of like brought up out of the water,
right? Due
to water levels dropping
again.
I know, yeah. So you could argue climate change, I suppose, but an ancient palace has emerged from an Iraq reservoir after water levels dropped previously because of drought.
Do you know Mesopotamia?
So a lack of rain has left water levels in the Mosul Dam and reservoir dry. So it's been basically like never been seen before.
That's good.
And because of the conditions, a team from Germany and Iraq have basically teamed up to kind of start an archaeological dig, and they've discovered several rooms, basically inscribed clay tablets and wall paintings.
Oh shit!
So yeah, this can give you quite a lot of evidence about the time.
What was going on?
It was again Bronze Age, about 1800 BC. So it's quite interesting that these two have been discovered around a similar time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that, and hopefully maybe a couple of other little civilizations will pop up.
That'd be after the Mesopotamians as well, I think. So it'd be
pretty interesting.
Still a young.
I'm quite interested to see these sort of, the tablets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously they found stuff that's quite relevant and could sort of. It's crazy because like when they find stuff, like it was like when they found the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't know what they had until they started researching it. So
you know what?
They could pull something out of one of these little ancient, little kind of sunken towns. What is like the Ark of the Covenant or fucking the original tablets of fucking Moses.
Well, when you asked me that question, first thing went into the back of my mind was a lot of the stuff that museums have, we do not see. 90% of the stuff we do not see, they're in the back.
Of course, yeah. The Smithsonian's probably got like a whole warehouse full of bits and pieces that they just kind of haven't put up on display.
Yeah.
Or
I understand they have to swap and change and they haven't got the room.
They curate them, don't they? So like they kind of find exhibitions where they'll put on like a Egypt thing where it's like all a certain couple of years or a certain painter or whatever, and then it'll be. Well, we've not got the space for this stuff. It'll go in the back until they get the Well, we'd love to see more museums. I'd love. Do you know what? Right, I'm assuming that from donations and from people kind of coming in and paying ticket prices, they make money, right? So build another building. I think. Do you know what? I don't think people would object.
No.
Do you know planning permissions if you for the amount of shit that they get thrown up on a weekly basis,
and not only
like
that,
Lego. You know what I mean? Something with a bit of culture behind it. I think people would go for it.
I mean, even historians or the general public, who go and see these arts from different eras of our forefathers. But, like, they could even make little stuff which they do often, little connections here and there. Yeah. And you could make more connections and find out more about our life in the past by... getting the people to, observe, have a look, and some people will be interested in that, some people won't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you said as well, they're earning their money for showing off this stuff. But if you can show it all off, then there are massive ways of making connections.
It's education, isn't it? It's like people, it's like, I could go to the museum and something that could really inspire me isn't being displayed, it's hidden away. You know what I mean?
And that thing, you might not have seen it and you'd be fucked all your life, and then you come 89, they display it and you're like,
that could have changed my life as a youth.
But that's a chance of life, though, isn't it? Really, if you think about it.
True.
It's a chance of.
Oh yeah, it's the museum's fault.
Yeah,
I'm a crackhead.
I do really think they need to show.
Not really. Yeah.
They do need to show off more things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they have to look up the history, try and find the history of them and stuff like that. But show more off. If you show more off, we can get more connections. We can work out even better stuff from the past.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that as well.
Moving on.
That's my lecture over with.
Yeah, cheers for that. I feel more enlightened.
You feel really more better now?
I do actually. Yeah, this is it. It's like don't go out there and take skag and shit.
Don't be a skaghead.
Because I just think even when it comes down to what we're talking about tonight, like like this medical marijuana, right? There's if you go to the doctors these days and you say I'm feeling a bit down, they go, "Oh, have some antidepressants," right?
That's a lot worse.
Don't use any sort of
chemical thing.
Anything to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Learn to love yourself. Yeah. So you know what I mean. Even like I say, weed, fucking anything. Just kind of like try and do it yourself. Try and be happy within yourself.
Yeah. It's easier said than done.
Rather than trying to chemically induce it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just don't push yourself over the limit. Take control of it. Don't let it take control of you. That's your most benefit on it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. Yeah. I could see it's gonna be one of them episodes, isn't it?
Yeah,
where we're
I think it is. But it's good shit, man. Weed is just cannabis has just been. It's got so much value than it has alcohol or coffee or.
Oh, well, I don't know about pills. Coffee, but we'll talk
the
about
caffeine
that.
within the coffee.
But the thing is, it's like one of them. It's like I really go, oh shit, I need a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel kind of like, oh, I don't feel right if I've left the house without a brew.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I think coffee's obviously coffee's an addictive substance as well. Caffeine.
Yeah, it is the most addictive.
Caffeine is addictive, right? Yeah. But we'll go down those roads in a minute. Yeah. We've got some NASA news.
We have. Let's go NASA.
Yeah. So I mean, NASA. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the universe this week. Basically, big horrendous asteroid. Another fucking asteroid.
Oh no!
3 times bigger than a football pitch.
Oh nice.
Is going to skim past the Earth this week.
Again.
Yeah. Well, this could have already happened actually, because obviously it's like from the date of the 25th.
Was it? Right.
Yeah, and it's now the 29th, 30th,
so it didn't
early morning. So space rock known as the 2008 KV2 is expected to come within 0.0045 AU of our planet, making it potentially hazardous.
Yeah.
According to NASA Center for Near Earth Objects Studies, the center cases. Potential hazardous asteroids which threatens the approach of Earth at 0.05. So obviously it was 45. It was so they say that if it potentially hazardous if it's within that 0.05 AU.
Yeah.
Right, and this came was expected to come 0.0045. So. It's a bit. It's a bit under, innit?
It's still quite far.
No. It's 4 under, innit? It's 5 under. So it's 45. If they had another 5, that'd be the 5, because that's only 0.05. Whereas this is 0.0045. So I think if that was, I'm not sure. Yeah, potentially that's with it under that range. So the first discovery by scientists in 2008. Researchers estimate the space rock has and will visit Earth frequently between 1900 and 2199. So it's obviously in a bit of an orbit.
Yeah, we've got quite a few of them lately,
But maybe it's just because we can see more and we've got more tools to kind of see it. Whereas this has been happening for decades, for generations, and they've just literally just been flying around us.
Yeah, they're like little fucking memes.
They're just like little buzzing flies. Like when it's been
around
hot.
Shit.
It's been hot. No. because it's been hot the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So obviously I had the back door open.
Yeah.
And you get like fucking flies buzzing around your light fixtures.
Oh,
winds me up. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, fucking. I get one of them bats, you know, with electric current in it. Come here, you little bastard.
I wish I had one of them. I chased one round the house with a scatter cushion.
No, your best way.
This morning,
Leave your
and
spiders
it was
in
pissing
your
me
house.
off. Well,
That's your best way. They're the fuckers who will catch the cunt for you.
I'll leave the spiders. There's one up there actually. Look there, up in the bunker corner. The Cosmic Traveller is 3 times in the length of a football pitch, and is expected to pass through the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's near-Earth orbit zone.
Right.
NASA's cases near-Earth objects as an asteroid or comet between 91 million or 121 million miles from the Sun. So obviously it's coming close. I'm not sure when it's supposed to pass though. I want to find out because it doesn't really say. It just says some point this week. So
right. Also, we still might be in danger then.
Yeah, they might be just keeping it quiet.
Well, well, put it this way: the ones I heard over the last.
I love how many.
20 years,
I love how many asteroids we've kind of covered in a year. You know what I mean? I think we must have covered at least 12 asteroids that were supposed to come close to Earth, and a lot of them weren't coming even very close. I think if this is coming below the line, when it comes, this is probably one of the closest ones. But
well, they won't tell us because of like over the last 20 years I've been observing it. It was only since 1996, I think it was, when one was hitting us. They had 19 hours or something to work out how to deal with it, and it hit the desert.
Got mega hay fever today. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking out my nose, so I do apologise.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, I'm all right. It's just hay fever. Can't get rid of it, can you?
Yeah, that's true. So before that, whenever an asteroid had passed us, which was a close one, you wouldn't find out until the day afterwards. No, it was shut up. That's it was absolutely shut down, and I was looking for it all the time.
Tommy Lee Jones in the Men in Black, where he's like, we were just nearly killed by a fucking a Zarkillian battle fleet, and he'd go, there's always something. That is exactly what it's like. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not respect like, it's a fucking alien race, but like, out of Earth.
But they won't tell us.
But this is a misinterpretation of what people say and what people understand and take literally. Yeah. It's like when people say, even when we've said this about, when Bush wasn't Bush, it was Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And he was giving that speech about a threat from out of Earth.
Oh, we would all come together. We'd all come together. From out
now everyone went, an alien race had come and try and have a war with us. Yeah, and went that direction with it. But it was like we discussed this as well about how it could actually mean like an asteroid. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? An out of Earth threat doesn't necessarily mean aliens. Exactly.
Totally. It could be. I mean, we've got more threats. I mean, the health and safety. Let's say the health and safety risk, right? In
here we go.
Country,
he's got his clipboard out. His IVs. He's doing a risk assessment.
No, you're more likely to hurt yourself within your home. Yet more people stay in the home because they think they get more hurt when they're outside the home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's a kind of that effect.
That's why I always go out.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, because I'm a clumsy fucker. I'd probably, kill myself in the house and nobody'd find me.
Yeah, so you'll go outside and get someone to blame.
I live on my own, so I'd be like... How long would it be before someone went, where's Gaz?
Where is it?
Where's Gaz gone?
Yeah.
Gaz hasn't put a podcast out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I wonder
is he alright?
Yeah.
He'll be
alright.
He'll be alright.
We'll see him next month. I'll know I'm busy till next year.
He didn't turn up for Christmas. He didn't turn up for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well he had a heart attack in the kitchen.
Yeah, like 5 years ago.
And no one found him.
What?
Yeah, the cat's still alive.
Yeah, the cat's still got fed up.
Yeah.
Eyeballs.
Gaz hasn't got no meat on him, like.
But the cat had a good go.
Yeah. Anyway, Mars Curiosity rover has spotted key signs of life on the red planet's surface.
Yeah.
I told you they found some methane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this is going to be kind of related to that.
Yeah.
It can be produced by a non-biological process.
Oh,
apparently.
here we go.
So what am I assuming that it's going to just be some sort of bacteria that they found, or some sort of biological sort of matter.
It might even be ancient bacteria, and the reason why we haven't sensed
Clone
it is because it's been under the ground, and when you move the soil, it's come up.
Well, yeah, it's the same story, isn't it? It's Mars Explorer orbiter has found small quantities of gas.
Yeah.
Surging from whatever is protruding methane or something.
Yeah.
From underneath Mars this week. So yeah, we've covered this already.
So whatever it is, it's got a bottom.
There you go. Well, it just means that there's pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like actually was watching a programme about kind of the hollow earth, which I think we might cover one day. Because it's quite an interesting story.
Yeah,
We've done Admiral Byrd.
Yeah.
And how he was, like just kind of flying over Antarctica, and he was supposed to have found a hole. Yeah. And he went in the butthole of the earth.
Yeah,
and he reckons that he found a
like
hole.
a time fucking zone.
But then obviously there's a lot of kind of different conspiracies or different theories about how it is in there.
Yeah.
So some say that there's a sun in the middle.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of mad shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite interesting. But
dinosaurs and fucking villages and fucking space.
Fucking Hitler riding a dinosaur.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Someone's dropped some nasty acid there that day.
So, in terms of other NASA news, have you got anything that you want to talk about?
Oh, of course. Always got something.
Always got some NASA stuff.
Always got NASA news. Well, scientists are starting to think they've pinpointed the source of a massive one-off flash of a comet entering Sumit.
Sumit. It was entering.
It was in the waves of FRB, which is fast radio bursts. This is the first time it's caught it, and they believe that it could be the possible first signs of another life species. So aliens. Yeah. There's more. This is how big the blast was, right? And it happened at 1 billionth of a second. Yeah. And it had more energy than our sun will get rid of in a decade, or should I say decades.
Right, okay.
So that's how much energy it poured out.
Yeah, but they think about how long light, like from our sun, takes to get to us. I mean, it's like
8 minutes.
Yeah, but that's
8 seconds. 8 minutes.
Well, it still like takes a while.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously it's expelling energy, and we only get it. Yeah. But,
yeah. Oh yeah. But it's one of these mystery events that we can't seem to put a finger on. They were talking about either black holes or something like that.
Obviously, space is the unknown, so it's like mystery events happen all the time.
The past.
Obviously, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get at when I was saying about light travelling from our sun. It's like it takes that time.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's the past.
If you see the blue, if you see anything blue, it's going out. If you see anything red, it's coming towards.
Well, NASA's Spalazza telescope has photographed some beautiful kind of images.
Oh, right.
A swirling cosmic light in deep space.
Oh, right.
Also, basically, what they're calling it is a whirlpool of light.
A whirlpool of light?
Yeah, it's quite beautiful, actually. I mean, I love space images anyway, but obviously it always makes me think that if it's a telescopic image and you've took an image using that, because obviously if you attach a camera to a telescope, that's the lens. Right? So it is possible to take actual photography of space, right? But it's how deep they can go, right? So I always start getting worried when I see images of space, because I just think, is that a rendering? Is that a composite? Is somebody just like made that in Photoshop? Generally, 100% of the time it is that.
Yeah.
So when I see these images, I think, is it
the real thing? Or is it like
now? When you see legitimate space photography.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful. There's some beautiful
stuff.
Obviously, well, these are coming out of NASA, so you could argue they are bogus, but like, you know, the beautiful NASA photos was snapped up by the space agency soon to be related to the Splatzer Space Telescope. Is probably obviously where they've come from.
Yeah.
The NASA instrument photographed a distant comet, objects in the distance, and infrared wavelengths to bring up like a hidden beauty.
Yeah.
So they've like manipulated the image basically to kind of like
to make it more. Nice
to kind of bring out different tones and stuff in the image.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you were
contrast of it.
Yeah, like take the contrast down and like kind of put like filters over it. So like they've looked at it as an infrared image to see what heat's coming out. So this whirlpool, it's a heat signature. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not seen by the naked eye.
No.
So
a lot of things ain't the amount of energy that's out there, and you just cannot see it.
Well, it's interesting. That's what I'm thinking, because obviously they've captured it as an image now.
Yeah.
So they're able to see what the naked eye can't see.
Yeah.
But it's weird though, because like as we've talked about this as well, like how you know how you see things isn't. It's just literally light reflecting off something else.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So it's like, how do you? You know,
we've
done this in the Matrix episode, didn't we? We went down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think we've done this. Yeah, right.
Scary shit, man.
Yeah.
It actually. Do you know what? There's some episodes that make you a bit angry.
Well, yeah. But you know, you've got to get it out.
Yeah. Any other NASA business?
I haven't. Talking of like asteroids. Well. Do you want to be a billionaire?
Always.
Yeah, well, everyone could be a billionaire if NASA do what they're trying to do.
But order something different this time. Why not?
It's always doing that nowadays. Pisses me. Stop doing that.
I know. Give it a kicky.
Laptop.
Well, apparently there's an asteroid that's between Mars and Jupiter, which is solid metal that's orbiting them, and NASA wants to go up there by 2022 to actually start mining it or try and bring it back, because the process of it will make us all rich.
It's got solid gold or something in it.
Solid gold, silver, platinum. They will have so many metals.
This is it. This is why they probably want us so eager to get up into space, because they're thinking, oh well, there's probably more natural resources out there that will mean that we don't have to mine here.
Yeah, and they're being smart in another way as well, because if you think about it, right, every space satellite or like object that's been, you know, left our orbit, you have to cover it in like gold sheets and stuff like this to, you know, protect the
reflect
instruments.
The heat, and all the rest of it, radiation and stuff.
But we've only got so much gold on this planet. Now, if that's full of fucking gold, we could build a fucking massive
ship. We're just sending it all off into space.
Well, no, we could build ships. We could we could have so much more. We could send every single one a satellite.
You say, oh right, well, do you want to be a millionaire? But the fact is, if we've got an abundance of a material, then the value goes down a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only the fact that I don't know. I'll still put down the fact that everyone wants gold bars because they think something's going to go off, right? Well, and if it does go off, then the only currency that is going to be worth anything is physicality.
Oh, you're right.
Gold bars, or like you say, fucking bend over, sir, and I'll bend your fence.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean? Like,
do us a favour.
Right, but the fact is, it's like gold value's gone up. If they've come down and say we've just found a mountain of gold and other precious minerals, the value of it goes down and we won't be millionaires, and the fact is they'll just go, well, we're going to use it all to build spaceships.
Well, you've got to have something precious, you've got to have something that
chopper
no one
chains,
else is going to have.
Fucking sovereign rings.
Well, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what will make
gold teeth.
Yeah. You know
I don't know.
So, but everyone knows that if the value of a certain metal, which there's several metals, is more valuable than me walking up to you with a fucking brick and going, hey mate, can I buy 17 sausage rolls and a Mars bar? Here we go. You know what I mean? There's got to be a value to
nobody would take gold over the counter now. If I went into a shop,
you're joking, aren't you?
No.
I would.
Well, I would, but I've seen YouTube videos where, like, legitimately,
skyrocketing.
No, people go into like news agents with like a gold bar and say, "Can I pay for my newspaper?" And they're just like, "No." And it's like, what you on about? It's solid gold.
Yeah, but no. See, this is where the newspaper boys made a mistake. He should turn around and go, yeah, it's one bar of gold per paper.
Yeah.
That's the value I put it on. If you don't want it, bye-bye. If you do, give me your gold bar. Done.
Yeah, sweet.
It's the value of the other person.
Well, it's what it's worth to the other person.
You know what I mean? So,
the space agency NASA have been holding a conference from 9 p.m. Detailing its next mission to explore the solar system, apparently. NASA Administrator Jim Brainstein said today that I'm pleased to announce our next new frontier mission, Dragonfly, which will explore Saturn's largest moon of Titan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, of course, because obviously I was wondering this actually. I was still, in fact, was I not talking to you about this about 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Saying, do you know what? I think Saturn's really interesting and Titan's really interesting. Why are we not going to Titan? I said, I do remember. And and now they are.
But we have had that
yes, sir, I've been
on
to
there
Titan.
for a long time.
Yes, sir,
it's just
I've
a
been
case
around.
of getting there.
Yeah.
And they've had other projects as well, you know, like the Jupiter project.
Well, there ain't no place in the whole
Horizon.
space. Yeah. Well, I think they should go to. I think Titan. It's like a world that could be worth exploring, to be honest. It's baffled me why they've not started sending manned drones, but unmanned drones even. Or
well, it's not really been that long since we've been sending it to Mars, really.
True that, actually, yeah. So, I mean, it's one step at a time, isn't
it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No leaps, you know, keep step by step or you're gonna fall into that trap of what the fuck's just happened.
Well, Titan's is unlike any other place in our solar system.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the most comparable to Earth.
Yeah. So, I'd say more than Mars.
Yeah, definitely.
Without
but
that.
like the fact is, though, we already know that Mars is a dead planet.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, now we could say that it's unexplored. They could be hidden things there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Titan is
it could be
super unexplored.
Yeah.
We don't even know anything about its sort of landscape or what.
It's just satellite imaging.
Of course, we don't even know if the air is breathable or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you know, it's good that they're going to go and test this shit.
Yeah.
Because you could find that it's actually like, you know, we could just land there and actually get off the plane and be able to...
Plane? You're going to fly a plane now?
You know what I mean? The spaceship. Well, by that point, it'd probably be commuting fucking like Virgin Atlantic, flying to Titan.
Well, true. Well, have you noticed over the last couple of years, that whenever we get, a better observant of a planet, or, a better satellite that we've seen more information in that they've... The information that they thought they actually had was wrong. And quite wrong in some cases, very wrong. You know what I mean? So it makes me think that the information that they're gathering now, what they were gathering, wasn't as good as they believe it was. And the same steps will happen again on this. They'll find so much information there, go straight into something and go, right, that means there's blah blah happens there. Then 10 years down the line they're going to send another one with another little object and go, oh shit, we made a boo-boo there, actually it's got an alien ship and we're going to be invaded in 2 days time. Well,
Titan,
you know what I mean?
I do. Well, Titan's actually still considered a moon, even though it's got quite a lot in common with the Earth. It has an atmosphere, it has water, liquid rain, and it even has thick clouds and filling basins and canyons. So, you know, that basically evaporate and back into the sky. So it has like a sort of weather system. And the process starts all over again like Earth, like on a loop, like sort of how it works here, I suppose.
Yeah.
The temperatures on the moon go from extreme to extreme, I suppose.
Yeah, because it's been because Jupiter's got so much powerful gravity. Not Jupiter, sorry.
Saturn.
Yeah, it's got such a grab of it it squeezes it, you know, like it squeezes it like a sponge. So that's why you get like heat and reaction underneath.
Well,
and
they
that's
say
why
it'll be like minus 292 degrees Fahrenheit.
Guys, that is freezing.
Yeah.
I won't shove my dick in it, let me put it that way.
But then up to is that minus 180 degrees Celsius? Whoa. Give or take a degree or two.
A degree or two won't matter.
The atmosphere is so thick. I've lost my place. So the atmosphere is so thick that you could choke a dozen donkeys on it.
A dozen donkeys, I better say 2 dozen then.
So there you go. And that's your NASA news. Oh, I do have one more story.
Yeah.
One more headline.
Oh, go for the headline.
NASA will go looking for alien life. There you go. Boom. Done.
Oh, brilliant. About fucking
thanks,
time.
NASA.
Yeah, what, is that because of the new Space Force that's coming into town?
It's the Space Force, yeah, I'm a member of the Space Force.
That's
do you know what they'll be
time.
doing? They'll be doing like a Top Gear style movie, obviously, because the space guys will start getting famous, but like it'll be a cool thing to be a space pilot. Hey. You know, like normal pilots were briefly famous, and then
you fly planes, that's like space fighters,
yeah,
mate.
man, they'll do like a sort of Top Gun-esque movie, where it'll be like some knobhead, hugging some other knobhead on a beach somewhere in a, and I can see Tom Cruise being up for that.
He wants to do fucking everything, doesn't he? So break a leg
or both.
Yeah.
So well, moving on anyway. We're going to be moving on into the main topic of the show this week.
Good stuff.
This is the good stuff, actually.
The Mary Jane of crime.
I love you, Mary Jane. Yeah, well, this is the cannabis conspiracy.
Yeah.
Don't smoke the evil weed, kids, because this is what they were getting at, and I don't understand it because obviously there's a lot to this.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's got a lot of names. You can call it weed, pot, ganja, fucking Mary Jane, fucking the chronic.
Yeah.
It all comes from a plant, the Canabis sativa, that contains obviously mind-altering compound, which is delta 9 cannabolic. Sorry, or THC.
Yeah.
Lots of conspiracies, obviously go around why it was actually made illegal in the first place.
Yeah.
But have you ever wondered why?
No, because I wondered one time.
But then you went out and tried to find out.
Yeah. Even though a lot of it was hidden back then.
Well, if you've never ever wondered why, obviously, then we're going to tell you now.
We're going to give you the history of this. More sound.
We're going to go over some of the history, some of the theories linked with the magical herb conspiracy, and basically go into what we kind of found out. Yeah. So up until recently, the first recorded. What was it? When the first recorded use of cannabis that I found was the Emperor Shen Nang. Of China. In 2737 BC. But we discovered a story a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, of a civilization which predates that. Where they were hotboxing.
The hotbox. Yeah.
So we think that this information could be wrong now.
Because it's not wrong because it is the first time it was written about. It's known as its first fan mail for the cannabis. But it actually supposedly have started 10,000 BC in Japan in an island called Oko Island, which is O-K-I Island.
Oh, right, okay. So this emperor was the first recorded case of it.
It was the village,
it was actually being used elsewhere.
It got used beforehand. It was found, and it was found by accident. They threw it on the fire, basically to make a fire, and then they've noticed that, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling something.
Feeling a bit. The inhibitions are a bit kind of chilled. Feeling chilled out. I just want to play fucking Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, let's get the Nintendo out. So this is how they found out what it was, and they used it for roughly the same era within 100 years.
Well, this emperor, he wasn't actually blazing it, he wasn't throwing it on the fire, he was drinking it as a tea. Yeah. And he thought that it was good to treat his gout, malaria, as well as various other infections, right?
Yeah.
So, but he died of various other infections.
So he didn't cure himself.
So it wasn't a cure so much as the fact that it might be pain relief, but it's even if it's relieving you of the pain, then underlying problems, mate. It was like it's still got to you in the end.
You're not joking there.
So
they used it for rope as well over there.
Oh yeah, rope, that's it. Yeah, they used
medication,
it for soup, hemp soup,
clothes. And you know what? Sorry to say this now, but it is true. Cannabis has killed people in the past.
Really?
And a lot of people. And the reason why is because it was also used on weapons. It was actually the best thing you could use for a bow.
I thought you were going to say a whip.
No, for a bow, it was better.
Right, for like a bowstring.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, inadvertently, hemp has killed people. Yeah. But no, because you could go down the argument of guns don't kill people. People kill people, right?
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, if a bow is made, you could just say, well, I made that bow for hunting because I live a quiet life. I live in the woods. I've made a bow with hemp. Because I'm trying to be fucking sustainable. Right, and use a sustainable material, but then obviously wars kicked off and someone's used your bow in anger, right?
He's like all kinds,
exactly, and he's taking heads off like Legolas, right? Now that's not down to the plant.
It's
because these are fucking major conflict because we've got a willow branch that's feeling awful because he was the bow.
Yeah, but
and then you've got some hemp string.
So he was down to the string. Any other string.
I get where you're coming from, but I think on a medical point, then it's never killed anyone.
On a medical point, it has never killed anyone, as far as I'm aware.
All right, fair enough.
But as used as an object to kill someone.
Yeah, but if I hit you over the head with a pound block of it, I'd probably do you some damage if I dropped it out of my top window. And it hit you on the head.
You better leave me with a lighter and some Rizla.
You'd probably feel it, mate.
I'll be going.
Yeah.
Pissed,
but to be honest, I think
it's
going to cause you some damage. So I think in what context do you use it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like you said, in medical, not as far as I know, but as an actual plant, it has killed people in the past. Thousands of people. Get stuck in there, boy. And you know that emperor that you were on about?
Yeah.
That emperor actually called it Ma.
Yeah.
M-A. That's what it was first named, was M-A.
M-A?
Yeah.
Like fucking Mao.
Mao.
Well, in the United States, the first legalization was in 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia. And it became, it was because of the King of England at the time, which was King James. He made it a requirement that the people who settled there had to grow a certain amount of hemp and export it back to the UK.
But that was thanks to Spain.
Oh yeah. Well, what happened?
It was thanks to Spain because in 1545, Spain had actually. You're right. You know the word manara?
Yeah.
Right. Well, the MA was actually attached to it in 1545.
Right.
And then what happened after that was they moved over to the west coast of America, the Americas.
Yeah.
And went to Chile and started doing a plantation.
Fucking hell, they got about a bit.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. It travelled though, didn't it?
Then they went to Peru.
Fuck me, mate, have you tried this?
Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, it went Honduras, Mexico, and then went straight across to Virginia. where it was legal. You had to. The farmers had to make that use that plant.
Well, I've got this interesting little thing. Like I say, it wasn't always illegal.
Yeah.
So there was obviously it was widely used before a certain date. I think it was between like the 1930s when it started getting kind of proper pushed to be banned, right?
I think.
But like back in 1862, Vanity Fair published articles and adverts for weed candy.
Oh, nice.
Called hashish candy.
Hashish candy.
The weed itself, the candy itself, was advertised as being marijuana infused.
Was it global free?
And actually, basically, kind of cured anxiety.
Which,
confusion of thoughts.
Yeah, short-term memory loss.
Yeah, and a lot of other stuff.
Other elements.
Hey, get your cannabis candy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it'll cure you of all the shakes, the tears.
Just get in this tent and smoke this, mate. You'll be alright.
So, you know what I mean? It was like before all this bullshit started coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually known about. It had kind of like people weren't really, it didn't have a stigma attached to it.
No. India used to call it.
Sorry. It said it treated nerves, sadness, and depression and melancholy as well.
Oh my.
Yeah, so all those three things are the same thing, by the way. Yeah.
So
I'm going to the doctors today because I'm suffering with sadness, depression, and melancholy.
All
at the same time.
Smoke a couple of these, son. You'll be all right.
Well, basically, have yourself a hashish candy.
Fucking damn right.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, in India in 17 BC, it was called bang. They used to smoke it.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah. In Egypt, it was drank in tea.
Well, again, like I say, in China they were drinking it as tea, but it does, like I say, it doesn't cure all that ails you.
No. Ethiopia, 1320, they were found of cannabis leaves in the bottom of pipes. You know, smoking pipes, because they do a lot of smoking pipes over there in Ethiopia. There's a lot. There's even state Oregon.
Yeah.
That it's in 2018 cannabis drink outbeaten wine.
I bet it did.
Massive,
I've heard a lot of kind of people talk about like when you get these juices with cannabis infusion, or they put like the cannabis oil in it, so it's still quite strong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're drinking like a couple of litres of this, or like a big glass,
I wouldn't advise
it could probably knock you to sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Damn right.
I mean,
the munchies in the fucking morning.
I mean, obviously nowadays you get a lot of kind of different products.
Yeah,
with
different blends.
Different products that infuse THC,
there's a lot
CBD, and all this stuff into your food, into drinks, like you say, into vape oils, all these other things.
Good shit went into the food
but like, back then, it was kind of being used for a lot of different things as well. I mean, as we know, it was used for rope, clothing, paper, just being some of the most common uses.
Yeah.
But it actually being kind of used for clothing, it was kind of like was a good substitute for nylon in certain ways. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And so, it was good on the how long it take to grow and then get rid of and then grow another one.
Well, in around 1910, a lot of Mexican immigrants were arriving in the US.
Yeah.
And along with that, there was obviously a bit of a rise in cannabis use.
Yeah.
So an association with the two became sort of prominent.
Yeah.
And people were using that stereotype as a kind of a reason to kind of show it in a bad light. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even up until like fucking like up recently, like Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They show these Mexican stoners. Yeah. As lazy sort of kind of people who kind of they're not kind of contributing. Yeah, because they're just blazing and and all the rest of it. So obviously, they were exactly. But it was also promoting the fact that it wasn't a good thing. Do you know what I mean? To kind of the everyday people.
They were more promoting cocaine to be the workers' drug, and the Sherpas' drug was weed.
Well, yeah.
Which was basically those who were working on plantations and stuff like that.
Well, obviously they were trying to put a negative public view on cannabis, but obviously being quite racist as well. Yeah, by kind of making these sort of like distinctions between, you know, like the Mexican people. Yeah. But to be honest, I can see this being enough for, you know, a complete. Can you see this being enough for a complete prohibition ban?
Well, they tried it, didn't they? And then it worked out that the jazz clubs that were having smokes in there, and then the white folks were going to the jazz clubs and going, "Hey up!"
Oh, you mean like the speakeasies and like you know, like hidden little bars?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, like
this is why it grew.
Well, this
up
is
again.
it. It's like people. Here's an instance for you, right? If you're on, say, a dating app, right? Yeah. If I was to say on my dating profile, I like smoke weed on a weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, that could put people off.
Puts a lot of people off.
Well, it does, right? But on the same respect, I go on girls' profiles that say, "Oh, I like a gin."
You know what? Yeah. Exactly what I was thinking in the back of my head.
I was thinking, well, I don't really drink, so does that? But it doesn't put me off. Yeah. Because I think, well, each to your own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but the fact is that it's like you're putting that on your profile, whereas I wouldn't. But then obviously, is that like, you know, not being open anyway?
Well, it depends how open you want to really be with the person. It depends on the app as well, really, on how much you want to.
But obviously, we can get into the fact that cannabis is
lovely,
got
great, brilliant stuff.
We've already established it's got some health benefits, right?
It's got more than just some, man.
Treat of glaucoma, arthritis, it's got pain sort relief, and pain management,
lowers stress,
anxiety, social issues, social confidence issues. You know, it's got kind of a lot of different applications, and probably the most widely used, or I'm going to go quote unquote, drug. I think aliens come here for it. That's why aliens are here, because we're the only planet on.
Take down our weed.
Well, just to come for a visit, pick up, and then get off.
Yeah, because all right, 50 grand an ounce.
It probably doesn't grow anywhere else.
Nah,
well, conditions have got to be right, mate. Honestly, it's like, you know, obviously, if anybody who knows about the plant, it's like you've got to, you know, especially in countries like the UK.
If you could get from one part of the universe to this part of the fucking, let's say, fucking split of a second.
I'm pretty sure they've got their own stuff.
Sure, they could make. I bet they're like that. The DNA done
in some sort of like fucking fucked up bar, like in Star Wars, the cantina, and they'll be sat in the cantina listening to the they're listening to that, and someone goes, "Have you ever been to Earth?" And fucking Chewie goes, "I can't do the fucking Wookiee noise."
Fucking
but like he does the Wookiee noise, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, you should go. You try the fucking Mendocino Greeno or some Stardog or something.
Get some double OG, man.
Get some fucking OG Kush."
Yeah.
And then they go, where? And he does the Kessel run in 2 seconds or whatever. Gets to Earth, picks up, has a pop round, spooks some fucking kids. They claim they've seen a UFO.
Yeah.
They get off and get wrecked.
Yeah,
potential.
Everyone's happy. They're all wrecked.
Maybe.
And,
it's hypothetical. And I'm not saying like Chewbacca and Han are on well, they are smugglers. So potentially they did come to Earth a few times. Well, no, but in his prime. I don't think if some international fucking like if Chewie, fucking Jabba the Hutt was like go and pick up a couple of kilo from Earth.
Yeah.
I think Han would do it.
Yeah, I think.
If you think I'm wrong,
I think take a slice
answer in the comments. You tell me on Twitter if I'm wrong. Do you think Han would take a job of international ganja smuggling on the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, in 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act meant that there was a complete ban right across the states.
Yeah.
But a few states had already put a statewide bans in place.
Yeah, Washington DC being in the first.
So it just meant that, you know, it was illegal everywhere by that point. They reckon though that it was they considered it a Schedule 1 controlled substance at the time.
It still is, I believe.
Is it?
You can get. It's a Class A drug.
Well, that's what they're saying. It's a Class A drug, just like heroin.
Yeah.
But it's just basically because it falls into the likelihood of abuse. So if you were to abuse that drug,
I checked this out not that long ago with Gaudi. I think his name is. He's a brilliant politician over there. And the reason why is because they haven't put it through for the last 50 years. They put it to the side and they have not put it through the system to have it rechecked to see what classification it should be. Now, I think it was last year they were looking into it, and that's why I believe all of these changes have started to happen over there a lot more.
Well, it's stupid because it's like, well, you go on, well, it's in a category where we feel like people could abuse it. Well, let them abuse it. Well, yeah, exactly, right. I think if you abuse alcohol, you're putting yourself at a risk of fucking death.
They lost.
Yeah, and alcoholism and all the rest of it. But like, if you abuse cannabis, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to have mad shit in the morning because you had such munchies.
Oh, you're going to get a weed hangover and feel a bit dehydrated.
Yeah. Have a glass of water, you'll be alright.
The thing is, I think like you're never going to go. I've never heard a story of a stoner. Yeah. Getting in trouble. Yeah, because they're tucked in bed by 9-10 o'clock. Idiots. Or they're just on the Xbox, or they're just chilling at home. Yeah. Yeah,
well, engineering degree. I'm just fixing this.
Yeah, serious. Yeah. So
it gets the brain fucking going. You know what I mean? It opens up your brain.
Well, a 2011 Gallup poll said it was up to 50% of Americans and British citizens who have smoked weed or tried it.
Yeah.
At some point in their lives, which is about 16.9 million people in the States.
Yeah.
Considered in contrast to the Netherlands, where it's only 20% of people. And that's been legal there for years.
Actually,
so do you know what I mean? It just goes to show you when it's on a plate.
It's been decriminalised since 1976, which means you can smoke it, but you can't sell it.
No, in where?
In the Netherlands.
No, I'm saying that, but it is decriminalised. But what I'm saying is because it's more readily available. The percentage of people who smoke it there is a lot lower because it's the same in Canada, I think, or like Denver.
Well, it's what happened in Portugal as well in 2001. Portugal decriminalised it. But they decriminalised all drugs.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Use it, but you can't buy it.
Well, I remember being in Portugal and they were offering they were saying, if you're going out and you need, offering like pill testers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not I was doing that.
And the crime and all that went plummeting down because they hit the black market, which. This is what the other countries are doing.
They're basically saying, do it. If you're going to do it safely.
Yeah, the only country that's legalised cannabis is Uruguay.
Go on, Uruguay.
And you can smoke that on the social. You know what I mean?
But they give you a subsidy.
Yeah, but you can
weed
sell
stamps.
You can sell it there. Yeah, and it's like Washington DC was the first one, 2015, which were the first ones who banned it. But after Canada in 2001 decriminalised medical marijuana, that's when the Americans started opening up a bit more, and then other countries were going, hey up, and then even us.
There's some money to be made.
Even wanted it.
Oh fucking hell, who'd have thunk it, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I've only been saying it since I was 15. Do you know what I mean? And I was a 15-year-old numbskull who knew nothing.
Yeah.
So and what do you know? What's that say about the fucking state of the world?
State of play, man.
I know, yeah.
But the UN had a big meeting with the rest of the world in 1961 to try and stop the cultivation of marijuana or the cannabis plant, except for on medical grounds or research grounds. Yet Right, let me give you this statistic.
Yeah, but they're still producing it
Hold
for
on.
CBD and stuff.
Right.
So, you know, there's still plantations, and like if you're telling me that they're not producing THC plants as well, they're talking bollocks.
I'm going to throw it at you now. Right, cannabis combined all around the world, produced, legal and unlegal, made in 2017 200 billion. Now, what they've done projections now of in 2020, they reckon legalised cannabis, America and America only, will make 17 billion legal, but they'll also make 40 billion illegal.
Well, to be fair, I think everyone's just basically wondering, how did it become illegal?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's been a number of conspiracy theories that have surrounded this, but the most famous relates to newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst. Now, Hearst owned a lot of trees,
Yeah.
Trees that just basically, when he cut them down, he sold them to paper mills, that sold them to newspaper companies, and for years he was making a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then the beer companies as well.
Oh, well, why beer companies?
Beer companies went against them, were lobbying against them, and also Harry J. Anslitt.
Oh, no, he was on board with him.
He was lobbying against, trying to get rid of the cannabis. So
but we've not got to that bit yet, because obviously, like, he was basically, that was when this kicked off, right? So he was... Right, so obviously he's selling his trees and his paper to the newspaper presses, held a number of large government contracts, and until basically his empire was under threat by large hemp crops, the word on the street was that hemp could replace paper and, basically other synthetic materials like nylon, so there would be few businessmen basically up in arms about it, you say. One of the people who was indeed was Harry Jacob Ansler. He worked with the Bureau of Narcotics, in fact, to turn the public against cannabis. So I think in terms of the evidence at the time of this, you could say that it was like I say, we've already talked about like the racism and the Mexican. Which just demonstrated very early on about what the lengths he were going to go to in terms of trying to put a negative spin on it. Making out that smoking weed made the migrants violent. Lazy, saying they were lazy, but he's also making them violent. Obviously, the newspapers were putting out stories. And don't forget this, because obviously we've already said William Hearst. Was selling. He had paper contracts with these newspapers, right? So he's probably had shares in the papers as well.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Now they were putting out stories about kind of like young American youth who smoked the evil weed, and they basically went paranoid and ruined their lives. And put out a lot of propaganda about it. But obviously Hearst made millions off this. Because obviously he's selling fear, because people panic and start reading the papers, right? They read these stories about the kids who were smoking weed, the evil weed, right? And it was a loop, do you know what I mean? Where he'd kind of profit off the fact that he was keeping his compare down, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was all about money at the end of the day, wasn't it, really? Who could have the power and...
Well, it was a bit of a loop, and he just kept buying the fucking papers. So, obviously William Hearst really took advantage of the hemp hype. But anyway, by 1930s, 1940s, there was not even any hemp being grown in the United States.
No.
Right?
No.
Probably about 3 square miles, but nothing so industrial that it could have threatened the paper industry. So you can't even make stockings out of hemp.
No.
So I don't even understand why the nylon industry and obviously we're getting into it, because who was it? In fact, it was the DuPont company with Harry Jacob Ansler. And he owned the nylon stocking company, I think, as well.
he had a lot of hands in, a lot of pies.
So, what was all the hype about? I don't understand why they were trying to push this sort of like ban on it. Was it just the fact that this could happen if the infrastructure went in? Now, like I said, why did they not take advantage of the fact that you take your trees down and you take advantage of the space? You can't grow a tree overnight, but you can grow weed quite quickly. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it.
So you've got all this land where you've just logged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you stick the weed plants in? Exactly. Yeah. So why not? If you're a businessman, you've got all this money. Why don't you take advantage of the hype that is? You're thinking that's going to put me out of business, but you could adapt and integrate. Do you know what I mean?
You could make 3 times as much.
Well, you could still do both. You could have like designated land for both. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could.
And then you're getting payouts from your trees when you're selling those, but then like 8 weeks later, you've got a payment for a load of hemp.
Yeah, and realistically, you're only going to get what? You're going to get about 2-3 payments out of the trees alone out of your life.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't understand. Well, it depends how many trees.
Well, yeah, we'd all wanted the trees back then, so it was a case of, right, log, give us a tree. You know what I mean? So it only lasted so long, let's say 2 years maximum.
I just don't get why they push so hard on making it illegal. Now, you could always argue that it was another method of control, especially when heading into the 1960s, where cops would just basically arrest thousands of people and charge them with bullshit pot charges. So, you know, obviously, you can appreciate why people just kind of like lost the plot and thought,
oh well, a lot of veterans
demonstrating about it when like it's nothing.
A lot of veterans when they legalised it. A lot of veterans when they come back from Vietnam, they went to California to settle down and smoke weed and you know, chill,
relax,
the boots.
fucking get over the PTSD. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's a case of like they knew what they needed, and that was their medical to help them through the rest of their life because of what they've seen and what they've been through. Well, you know what I mean? And like, there are a lot of people out there, especially at the moment, that have that kind of thing.
Obviously, and they turn into like, you know, if they basically kick back and they've got that hippie sort of vibe about it. Yeah. I think like when they say about. Some conspiracy theories say that obviously the government and CIA have got a hand in it and they're making profit off it. So why would they make it legal? Because you probably make a lot more money.
With legal,
but it's not going through the CIA books first.
Estimation by 2030. Here we go. It will be a £1 trillion business.
Well, the hippie theory, £1 trillion.
£1 trillion business, yeah.
Well, the hippie theory says. The government just wants to keep us from the astral plane, you know. My mind's open and I want to just fly and be free. It's all about the greater spiritual truth.
Fucking what?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, but people argue that it is a mind-altering drug and people can say that, you know, like it's trying to keep the masses away from unlocking the minds to being a bit more open-minded.
Well,
so in that respect, I can see where the hippie theory comes into play there strongly.
Look at what happened to quite a lot of hippies back in the day. A lot of them become rich because they've sat back. They thought about it. They thought of an idea and gone, you know what? Why not try it? And they've made a success of themselves. And not all, but a little bit, thanks to that little Mary Jane.
A little Mary Jane. Well, I told you about microdosing and how a lot of people in Silicon Valley take a small amount of LSD, right? And it's not enough to get them high, but it's enough just to get the creative juices flowing. Yeah. So, you know.
And if he takes that.
Well, like I say, you shouldn't be. If that creativity is there already, you shouldn't have to fucking chemically induce yourself. I mean, I like a smoke, but I do it to have a nice chill out, and it's like having a glass of wine at the end of the night.
There's a lot of double standards in this world.
Anyway, although weed has been decriminalised in many places around the world, it still remains illegal in certain
Apart
places.
from Uruguay.
We're on consecrated ground, so it's actually okay here in the bunker. And we're so deep underground, it's considered international waters.
We're closer to the centre than we are to the top.
So we're actually in the Netherlands right now.
We're just passing.
According to my VPN, anyway. So and it's still an ongoing debate as to whether it should be decriminalised or not.
Well,
there's been a rise in companies who have let's face it, basically who were poised to go when the law changed. And like I say, we discussed earlier, there's a lot of companies who put it into foods, into kind of like other products. So we're heading towards the hashtag Green Globe. We talked about.
Well, look at CBD over the last year alone, and actually the last 6 months, it's been come from nowhere to 2 kids being ill to bringing it as medical to no one else apart from them 2 kids being able to get hold of it to everyone can get it.
You can buy it in the shops now. I went past a vape place and they literally sell CBD weed. They sell the oils, they sell the vapes, all the rest of it. But I just don't see why because
they've got actual proof now that CBD can actually help.
It can help with pain relief and stuff
like
that.
And it helps the NHS in the long run as well, if you think about it.
Well, I think,
stops a lot of people.
Like I say, a lot of these sort of things were put in place as early as the 1860s. And you could argue that, it was just basically a drip-fed prohibition. Do you know what I mean? Would you consider it harmful? I know we've discussed about how you think like it,
everything in moderation.
You could kill somebody if you dropped a block of it off on someone's head from a height. You could, as long
as you've got Rizzle and a lighter.
So I think in terms of harm, it comes down to the people who use it. So it's like people with mental health issues. It's like I remember being on a bus one day and I heard this kid say, "Oh, I smoked weed once and." I started hearing voices.
Don't touch
it again, mate. Because the way I look at it is, you've got an underlying issue there anyway, and that's just highlighted it for you.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe the weed. In fact, I'm gonna be like all hail the weed, but it's basically saying that you've got a problem there, mate. It's unlocked something for him. And to the point where he might have go, shit, I've got a problem and need to go to see someone. Do you know what I mean? Whereas,
as long as he do that,
I think the point is, it's like if you think it's causing you problems personally, then don't touch it.
But in a way, it shows it up in the earlier stages, so. The doctors can find out.
And we went obviously about early stages, but obviously
you still shouldn't have it when
age
you're young.
Limits on it. I was going to say.
I definitely agree with that.
It does affect you. It does affect you sort of your development.
Make sure you develop that. And
get fully developed, man.
I've been thinking
ladies.
About this. I might drop it for a month. And the reason why I might drop it for a month because it takes 28 days for it to come out your system. So there's 1 month.
Joining the army?
No. And then I'm just going to basically check what elements and what's wrong with me, so I could go back on it and I can know. Because don't forget,
go doctors.
No, it's a hidden substance as well.
Right.
It hides stuff. Like your elements, it can hide stuff.
So that's what I was saying earlier about masking it. It's like it was like
don't use it to hide something that's
Emperor
dangerous.
Fucking what's his name? Shan Nang.
Right.
Of China
at the time.
Right. Of Emperor China. He had malaria and gout and shit, and he was drinking weed tea, thinking that was sorting it out. Didn't sort it out.
No.
So obviously it's just kind of masking with. It's like if I had a pain. And I took painkillers every day, and those painkillers numb the pain, and I felt I could go about my day. Just because the pain's numbed, it doesn't mean that the problem's gone.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
You've just hidden that pain. It's like the
talking about that because I got a tooth problem and I had an emergency filling put in. And it's not sorted the problem.
It's just masking
it's just covered it for the time being. And it's still a bit.
It's still going to come and kick your ass until you sort it.
Obviously, we could talk about how cigarettes, alcohol are on the market.
Well, why they were banning weed? and banning alcohol.
Well, they did ban alcohol, didn't they, in Prohibition?
Yeah, but they brought cigarettes out going, here, I have one of these. Doctor says they'd be great for you.
They marketed those in the same way as fucking hashish sweets or hashish candy, where it was like a stress relief, anxieties, all that. If you're not, you need calming down, and they didn't have. Well, it's just kind of like imported from another part of the world, isn't it? Yeah. And then it's cool. It looks cool. You're smoking. And obviously,
But they didn't check the health benefits before they went. Doctors start selling these.
But again, it's like.
But then it's back in that day, innit? We're a bit different.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of, you could say tobacco is a plant. Cannabis is a plant, right?
Yeah, but they add stuff to the tobacco.
That's what I'm saying. So what would to stop, right, these big corporations when weed goes to an industrial place where it's legal all around the world, you can buy it in packets over the counter, right? Then are they going to be putting those same chemicals in the cannabis? Are they going to be putting the same chemicals they put in your cigarettes? Because
if it works for them,
they put saltpeter and all sorts of bullshit in cigarettes, right? And it's like they argue, oh well, it's to stop you burning your house down because we have had so many people have fires because they've fallen asleep with a cigarette in the mouth, right? Now they used to just keep burning, right? Whereas now there's saltpeter in the cigarette that stops, it puts your cigarette out if it's not been drawn on.
Well, do you know they've actually got a metal that they can put into cigarettes that could actually stop all the harmful stuff happening to you?
I don't want a metal in my cigarette. Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't want you to add anything else. Why couldn't you just have like tobacco?
Not like metal, but it's like
tobacco is a plant that they felt that the ancient people who discovered it went, oh, I can smoke this plant. Yeah, right. Cigar, whatever, right? Yeah. And obviously Cubans have been making hand-rolled cigars for years.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure that they don't put a lot of preservatives and stuff in there and spray it with pesticides and whatever else. Yeah. Right? And add extra chemicals to it. Yeah. So
which need to be taken.
It's a pure tobacco product,
but right? Which this metal would have taken all the shit out of what they've been putting in. But they won't do it because the metal is so expensive.
Well, I think like the whole industry's a bit fucked up.
Well, it's collapsing and it's
like,
it's going down.
Like I say, it's like
which is a good thing.
I think it always comes down to this argument about cigarettes versus alcohol versus cannabis. So it's like I think out of everything we've talked about tonight, I think that's the thing we can talk about the least. Yeah. To be honest, I found this interesting story about Alex Jones. Oh, right? Yeah. Now, Alex Jones' podcast said that there was weaponized marijuana, and it was being used by the government to, related to the strength of the chronic nowadays, and how people are smoking it, and they're just basically turning into zombies, turning into lazy people because it's so strong, right, and it's been genetically modified so much that it's they just fall asleep, right. So I think it's because of all the... I think this is it. They're monging out and kind of generally turning into zombies. But most of them are turning to podcasting. So, you know what I mean? It's like they're still getting the word out.
Yeah, if anything, it's backfired on them. Because now everyone's talking about what shit they've been up to all these years.
Well, you could argue it's crazy. You could say it's fact. But it could be onto something because in 1949... I think it was the CIA, but if it wasn't, it was another government agency. Yeah. We're looking into various ways of basically incapacitating people in a non-lethal way, and this would be basically used. It was what it was called was the Inglewood or the Edgewood Aslam experiments, I think.
Right, okay.
Or Arsama experiments.
Okay.
So the government had seen what the effects of THC could do, and they wanted to know if they could make it stronger, maybe use it to their advantage. So they started fucking around, breaking it down to its chemical components, and they came up with a compound known as DMHP, which is a synthetic type of THC.
That's where part of it goes wrong. It's synthetic.
And it was ultimately, they wanted to use it to kind of like as a sort of something that they could use to incapacitate an enemy agent. Yeah. Right. So they could knock them out for hours or even days. Yeah. Right. And this DMHP, right? They could develop it to make it in terms of like they could make it strong, so like it cause minor hallucinations. Right. Yeah. And they just basically concentrated it to fuck, right? Yeah. So after a bit of testing on subjects, they basically got this DMHP, would in fact knock them out for hours, and it was obviously being used. So when Alex Jones says stuff like, you know, they're using weaponized marijuana, yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility. No. And obviously, you know, it's more probable than fucking the strength of it is turning people into zombies, man. Well, I've had some that have just been like, nah, I don't want that strain anymore. It's tiring. I've got stuff to do on my day off. Yeah, people have turned around and gone like to dealers and gone, right, don't give me that shit because I can't get up in the morning and they'll lost me job. But like I say, I mean, it's like you could say like you know, they used it as a method of control because they wanted to arrest people, like I was saying about in the 60s. You know, where it was like, we know it's a bullshit charge, but like, you know, we know people do it. Yeah. Yeah, and not even criminal, it's not a criminal act. No. Yeah. And upstanding fucking vicars and lawyers and everyone has a toke every now and again. Don't tell me I'm wrong, right? Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Obviously, you're probably doing it right now, and if you are enjoying it. 800,000 people arrested for weed a year worldwide. And a man was actually, he got life in the States for selling $10 worth of weed to an undercover cop. Well, they got their free strikes. Entrapment, I think. Yeah, well, they can, can't they? Yeah. They can entrap. So, I think that'll be free strikes. He's been caught twice before, so third time. Boom. Sorry, mate, you're in there for 25, done. Well, I've got a bit of information, actually, some fact. Have you got any? I've got some of what happened on Thursday, but I'll leave that to. All right, no problem. Well, I've got the facts here. Basically, health benefits. Pain management, social anxiety, stuff like that. But like I say, don't do anything medicated just to make yourself feel better. Yeah. Learn to love you. Right? Yeah. So 22 million pounds of pot is grown in the States every year. 80% comes from California, Tennessee, Kentucky and Washington. Yeah. And even Hawaii. Nice. We've got third of all weed is grown indoors. Yeah. By people in their own homes. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And Denver has surpassed Amsterdam as the pot smoking capital of the world with over 300 dispensaries. That's more than Starbucks has shops out there. Fucking hell. So obviously they're fucking smashing it. Yeah. And they go through about 18 tons of recreational weed smoking a year. Legalization would be generally since legalization the revenue's basically brought in 8.7 billion in the US in tax revenue. Yeah, this is what I mean. They're going to go for the money, and I was saying this though, mate. I told them, but no one listens to me. No, they don't. Yeah. They don't. But so there you go. There you go. You see, that was like literally. So what happened on Thursday? Is it related? Yeah, it is. Yeah, This Thursday just gone in London. Big businessmen had a big meeting with government to discuss, which this is on the quiet, but they're discussing about how to legalise weed. Oh, right, basically. Cool. There was. Well, they're not doing a very good job at not keeping it illegal. Well, they've tried the best, but like there's been a few slips, so we found out that like I'm an upstanding citizen, so fuck you. I just hope they don't do what they've been doing in America and go and like taking on the big firms and letting the little man down, letting the little man go like, oh fuck, what? Like, well, I was saying this. It's about like license. Well, yeah, it's like they go, oh yeah, we've said this about tax and like how they're putting the little small farmers in a bit of a precarious situation. Yeah. Where the taxes for running that business are too much. Yeah. And then it'll get to the point where they can't afford to do that. They can't afford to run that business. Or their prices have to go up majorly where they just get run out.
Yeah.
But these big companies just go, yeah, no worries, we'll pay you crazy tax prices. But then obviously at some point it'll level off. And they'll be the only ones still in business because they could afford it.
Yeah.
So
and all the little men get knocked out. So in that case, if that's what's happening, go back to the black market. Forget the fucking governmental one until.
Just grow it yourself.
Yeah.
It's probably easier. Yeah, and you know what you're getting then as well. And you know what's going into it.
Yeah, exactly. There is one good point that you don't know with manufacturers. Basically, they want to try and get you hooked on something, so they can keep going back to them. Yeah, so you keep
going to their brand. Yeah, obviously.
So it'll only take one of them to do that and come the best product going for a couple of years, and then someone will find out, oh, you've been sprinkling this into it. And then the other firms will be doing the same thing. It'll come legal, and then they can do it.
Yeah, and just look at Coca-Cola.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All big industries, there's always them dodgy lines. Yeah. And it's, so if they do that near your area,
if they do, they'll do, don't they, though?
Yeah. Go back to the black market, because, like, support the little man, forget the big
support
big
your independent weed dealer.
Yeah. As long as he ain't in knobhead, or she. I'm not being sexist.
If you need a 20 bag, call Kev. He'll deliver. As long as you wait at a bus stop for 40 minutes and have to call him back.
Written on the yeah.
Cunt. Yeah. There's always one, isn't there?
Yeah.
His drag turn up in a different car every week.
And
he's just like fucking, and you ring up and you say, "Is that Kev?" He says, "Yeah, I'll meet you at the same place." And then a totally different guy turns up.
Yeah, and it's like, who the fuck are you?
And I'm Kev. And then the next week he's another different guy.
That's the phone ones. That's where they sell the phones on, don't they?
Crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. See, this is it.
It's business, man.
But this is it, though. I'd rather grow my own than
then go to the shop and buy it.
To shady fucking. It was like, I think, what was it?
Seems a golden price.
Who was it? Doug Stanhope. Comedian. He basically says if I, as he's a drinker, he said he tried smoking cannabis, but it's not his thing yet, right? He said he'd like to, but he's too lazy, right?
What?
And he said, he said basically if getting a beer involved going in waiting in a car park for his mate Alan to show up at 11:30 at night with a 6-pack.
We details a bit earlier than that.
And he's like, ringing him up, going, "Oh," he's like, "I'm just coming. I've just got to see another guy, and I'll be with you."
No, what he needs is a PA. That's what he needs, because he obviously doesn't know how to sort it out.
He said if he had to go through all that every night, he'd never drink again.
I'd quit it if that was the case.
Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the episode tonight. It's been interesting, I think. Yeah,
there's a
bit different.
Well, the info that bits that I didn't.
I've enjoyed the flow of it tonight as well. So I hope you have too.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions or you've got any just want to talk to us, say hiya, which we've been appreciating actually. We've had a lot of kind of people reaching out. And it's one thing we do enjoy. Do you know what? I want to start the fan art. If you want to send some fan art in, and we can get the gallery going, like in the what's it? The sort of the fucking what was that program called?
What, Art Attack?
No, it was. It wasn't Art Attack. It was the other one with Morph.
Oh, with Morph.
With Tony Hart.
Yeah, Tony Hart.
It was Tony Hart's art program. Yeah, with the gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get the gallery going. So, send us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.co.uk. Or is it com? I don't know.
Try them both and see.
I think it's gmail.com. Sorry, it's getting late. I'm tired. So send us an email. We're available on Twitter at NASA_never and on Instagram at neverstraightanswer. We're available on all the podcast platforms, whether you're on iTunes or on Castbox, on Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, we are there.
We are.
We would appreciate also if you want to send us a review or a comment or a rating.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely fantastic, and it really helps us out because it puts us. I don't know. I quite like seeing ourselves in the charts. It's nice.
Yeah.
And it shows that you guys are out there listening. So I appreciate
and we're doing things right.
Got a lot of shout outs actually. And talking about our people listening. Hey, we've got the shout outs. yeah, so I'll give a big shout out to Mikey's Collectibles, which is Mr. Mikey, sir, who's obviously joins us in the bunker now and again. He's a good lad. I think he's coming Comic Con with me.
Yeah.
Are you coming or what?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Yeah, he might do. Get him dressed up like Deadpool.
There's too many Deadpools.
Yeah,
no, I won't go in the character.
I put a video up of Comic Con before, and I was like, if you want to see a million girls dressed up like Harlequin and a load of guys dressed up like Deadpool of varying different levels of quality costume, then Comic Con's for you.
Yeah.
But I want to see someone I want to see a bit more imagination this year, guys. So if you go in, put something into it. Just if you've got a different costume, wear that.
Yeah. I want to turn up with a costume no one's ever seen before, and people ask me what I'm dressed as, and I tell them some bullshit line that it's from a big massive movie coming out in 2 years' time, and like I was really in it. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other.
Big shout out to the Brovengers podcast.
Brovengers.
Yeah, they obviously talk about Marvel stuff. The Trial of Adult In podcast.
The Trial of Adult In?
Yeah, they talk about adult stuff.
Adult stuff.
Well,
you're a bit dirty,
you're a bit blue.
Yeah.
I think it's just like generally shit that adults have to deal with. Like maybe funny and life. Yeah, generally.
Oh, fair enough.
The Lie Hard with a Vengeance
Lie
podcast.
Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah, the Lie Hard with a Vengeance podcast.
What a shout out!
Yeah, I like the lot of twists on names. I think you've got to be creative at the moment, because as well it's like it's like when you're trying to get your Twitter handle or your web handle down, and someone's already taken it, and you resorted to going on a generator, or you've got I'm ladies man 5679.
Yeah.
And it's I can't be dealing with having numbers after my handle. Sends me under. Then we've got the Bill and Frank Eat Pop Culture. Eat Pop Culture.
What, popcorn?
Popcorn,
Pop Tarts. Pop music.
Bill and Frank fucking Bogus Adventure. So you go check out them. Killer Rabbit Pod, which is the new podcast, which are doing really well in the social media side. Basically smashing it on Twitter. People are just getting really responsive with people. It's really good.
Oh, brilliant.
From Under the Thumb podcast. You want to get from under that thumb.
Yeah, you do, definitely.
Sort your neck out. Jem from Talking Codswallop podcast.
She was
absolutely really wanted a shout out, so big shout out to Jem.
Big shout out.
Obviously, Big Swoosh. Swoosh is our number one patron.
Putting on a bit of timber in it.
Is he?
Yeah. He's getting a little
it's all that vegetarian. It's all that vegan sausage rolls he's eating.
Yeah, he needs to get some proper meat in his mouth. Keep telling him he won't have it.
Big shout out to Dunk.
Dunk.
Number one fan, Mr. Crabtree.
Yeah.
Working hard on the night shift. Gotta love you, man.
Yeah, man. Keep that hard work up, son.
Bugcast. B-U-G. Bugcast. Yep. Days of My Life pod.
Days of My Life.
Rick Murray for recommendation of Patty and Me. It's a Yeti story, a Yeti book.
A Yeti book?
Yeah, it's about a Bigfoot, I think. I've downloaded it. You can get it for free on Amazon.
Oh, right, okay.
In the Kindle section. I've not read it yet, but thanks for the recommendation. I'm going to get on that. And that's all my shout outs for this week.
Yeah.
Big shout out to everybody. If I've mentioned you, subscribe to everyone's podcasts. Yeah. And especially ours.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have you got any shout outs this week?
Yeah, Mum wants you to give her a shout out.
I actually was gonna give Shani a shout out.
Yeah.
But I had some music set up and I've lost it now.
You've lost the music now.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, as long as you ain't all daylight.
I know.
She loved it last week. She was laughing her bollocks off, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
give you a shout out. Just give me a minute.
And Chris, don't forget Chris as well.
Yeah. I'll give Chris a shout out too.
Yeah.
I can't find it.
As well.
Oh.
You can't find it.
Yeah, I had a specific piece of music that I was going to use.
We'll have to do it next week.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
What?
No, we won't.
We're not here next week.
We're not here next week. Sorry to say.
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll give you a shout out anyway, Shawnee. I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be here next week for you. I'm sorry, Chris, this isn't for you again. You know what I mean? This is between me and Shawnee, unless you're one of them cockholds who likes to watch dressed as Batman from the cupboard. But, you know, obviously, you know,
no,
I've seen your Facebook profile picture. Anyway. Big shout out to Shawnee.
Big shout out.
And Chris, thank you very much. Sorry, I was getting deep there. Well, I had some special music I was going to play behind that, but it was never mind. Next time.
Yeah, we'll say it up.
So what else am I missing? If you want to help us out and you want to get over to Patreon,
yes,
you can stick £1 in there. There's a couple of tiers, there's extra content. Yeah. Can win prizes. It's all good. It's all good, man.
It is.
You can become a patron and join the community.
Yeah.
It really helps us out.
It does.
And we're actually trying to save up for some bit of kit that we've got our eyes on, hearts set on. And you could help us out.
Yeah.
And get
we've got about 2% of what we need.
If you just buy it us outright, then do you know what? We'll even like invite you around, cook your tea. Can be a special guest. Yeah, I'll make you a steak dinner. Yeah.
All right, I'll bring the bottles.
That'll be all good. Yeah.
We'll have a good chin wagon.
Yeah, so you could, but if you want to help us out and buy yourself a little something as well, you can go over to Dizzy Jam and get yourself some merch because we do hats, t-shirts.
Female and male. Yeah. We're not sexist there.
I know, unlike NASA. Yeah, because they don't sell ladies.
No, they only have one suit and send 2 women on.
Oh, wait, apparently, no, because what was her name? On Aussie Man reviews this week.
I don't know what that girl's name is.
I forgot her name now, but it's she was wearing a NASA t-shirt.
She was. Yeah. She was.
She wore it very well.
Yeah, she did. She wore everything very well, to be honest.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
I don't know. You need to see a doctor.
No.
Did you wake up this morning and go? Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it for today. I think
so.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I've enjoyed it actually. Yeah. So, if you, like I say, we come back for Never a Straight Answer Extra.
Yeah,
midweek.
Come back for more.
And that's pretty much it. I think we've run over.
What are we talking about this week on the Wednesday?
Oh, I don't know yet. We'll find out, won't we?
We will.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll probably find out. But we've totally run over this episode.
Oh, well, wait. Oh,
yeah. So
we'll. About 10 minutes.
I know. Well, we'll catch you next time.
We will.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.